Good evening, everyone, and I welcome you to our webinar, Why Vocal Technique is So Important for Jazz Singers. And actually, this topic is also good for any singers and any, oh, did I? Yes, I did. I'm always afraid I didn't press record. Yeah, it's always good to have good vocal techniques for speakers. Speakers need it exactly the same as we do as singers. So I'm going to start with the training. And there we go. So masterclass, free webinar, why vocal technique is so important for jazz singers. Why vocal technique is so important for jazz singers, vocal singing techniques also. Okay, a little bit about me. I don't think you really need that. You guys know about me now because both of you were in the 4-week course, right? Julia, you were also in the 4-week course, weren't you? Yes, okay. So vocal technique. What if you really don't know exactly what is holding you back in your singing? And even better, how to fix it. Now, all of you know how, probably you guys already know that having vocal techniques is going to give you a better sound in your voice. It's going to make you feel more confident when you get up on stage. If you know how to sing and how to breathe and how to project and how to articulate, because the more you know and are able to apply, to use your vocal techniques, the better your singing is going to get, right? So that's what it's all about. If you want to make that happen, the single most important step you can take right now is to start getting a foundation of vocal techniques, and preferably from an experienced vocal coach like myself. I'm going to help you with all of this tonight. Now, just because someone has a talent doesn't really necessarily mean that they're able to sing. Now, all the students that I have, I think like about 1 out of 100 are really, really talented. Like their voice is just so amazing that they, you know, the vocal techniques are almost not necessarily, because their voice is already so perfect in every way. They already know how to go from the chest voice to the mixed voice. They do it naturally. It's what you call natural talent. But not everybody has that natural talent, do they? So that is it is necessary to start finding out what are these fundamentals and start working on them. Mindset, alignment, and of course, to get yourself into the vocal techniques, it's also necessary to have mindset alignment, because you can do all the vocal techniques. I have people who come and do vocal techniques, but they're so we say in German, verkrampft. They're so tight in their whole personality that they can't open their throat. They don't know how to really let the air flow, because they are completely, verkrampft, we say in German. I don't even know what you call that in English. They are tight. Their throat is not open. They're just afraid to open their throat. So even if I show them all the vocal techniques, it's not going to help them yet until they start to relax and start to say, okay, I am okay just the way I am. And I am, from this point on, going to even get better and better. So if you have that kind of a mindset, you're going to progress very much more quickly. If you know where you're going, you know what you want from life, what you want from being a jazz singer. Now, in the beginning, I know you all don't know that. In the very beginning, you just think, oh, that would be fun. Oh, I've always wanted to sing jazz. That I really, really like. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of fun. Okay, that's the first thing. So you're not even quite aware yet if you really want to become a jazz singer or not. You're just trying it out, and that's absolutely okay. Why is this so important? It's so important because in the alignment, it is this open channel of energy when you are just clean and clear with your thoughts, your beliefs, your energy, your actions. Like if you're connected to the universe and you have this energy flowing, right? I already thought about that when I was studying classical singing. I was only 18, 19, but I knew, I had the feeling, nobody told me. I just knew that if I was connected to that energy, to that high vibe energy, I'm going to be able to sing better because the energy is going to be working through me, whatever you want to call it, great spirit, God, or whatever. It's going to work through you if you're connected, right? So people who are not connected, I hear it in their voice. If you have two singers who are performing, one has vocal technique, has learned the vocal technique. Both of them have learned vocal technique. One really gives you goosebumps when you listen to her or him. And you always get tears. You're really affected by your emotions with this singer. And with the other singer, you don't feel anything. Right? So there is a difference between, I feel, this is my opinion, singers who are connected to a higher energy, whatever you want to call that. And I know for a fact that the ones that I feel that are really, really great jazz singers are connected. There is a connection there to an energy. So sometimes we have to do some inner work so that the vocal techniques will be able to help you. Vocal techniques is only a tool, guys. It's only a tool on a path to give you, so that you, when you start performing, you have the tools. They're only tools, right? And all the rest has to do with you as a person, your personality. If you're holding back, if you're too full of fear, then these vocal techniques are not going to help you. But if you have fear and you don't have any vocal techniques on top of it, then you're really going to have a difficulty when you get up to sing, or even if you want to sing at your own house. You're held back because of your limiting beliefs and your belief patterns that you have had all your life and that you have learned somewhere from some music teacher, from your parents, or somewhere. And unless you start taking a look at these limiting beliefs and these belief patterns, they are going to continue to accompany you all through you're trying to become a better musician. Have you ever heard a singer that is so full of fear? Oh, shoot, what happened there? Have you ever heard a singer that is so full of fear that he or she was not able to open their mouth to sing? I've experienced that quite often, as a matter of fact. Even semi-professionals have this fear. Like Barbara Streisand, for example, like, you know how much I think she didn't perform for some years because of her stage fright and her fear, although she had absolutely no reason to have fear, but she had it anyways, right? It's some kind of thought pattern that she has developed through the years. Or be so insecure that all the vocal techniques don't help. So what are the most important vocal techniques? A singer cannot perform on talent alone, right? It's not enough to have talent. There's so many other aspects that go into becoming a good jazz singer. Whether you're a trained vocalist or an amateur with a dream or a professional, there will always be room for improvement for you. There are many vocal techniques that you can practice, develop your voice further. These are also some vocal techniques that you can use to enhance your singing. So these are the main vocal techniques for jazz singer. Breathing, absolute paramount on being able to sing in tune, to have your dynamics. All your dynamics are going to come from there. Your vibrato, a little bit from the vibrato is also from the throat, but not all of it. Most of it's coming from your diaphragm. Your breathing is so paramount, because if you're not breathing properly, you're not going to be able to project from your diaphragm. We're going to go into that in a second. Using your vocal cords, creating a sound. Phonation, forming the words, articulation. Those are the three areas of singing: breathing, vocal use of your vocal cords, and phonation. These are the resonators. Projecting, registers, chest, mixed head voice, transition of the registers. Resonance, intonation, hearing, listening, and matching a pitch, being able to sing in tune. These are the main vocal techniques that you need. So breathing technique, this is, I'm not going to go into too much detail with the breathing technique tonight. I just wanted to show you what the vocal techniques are and why they are so important. And I just explained that in the last slide, that if you're not breathing properly, that means into your diaphragm, expanding the stomach area, and projecting with your breathing reflex to pick up the note. What happens is it jumps, the air starts flowing through your vocal cords, the vocal cords start to vibrate, and a sound is created. Now the sound is just the sound. And the tonhöhe, the pitch of the note is created, but the rest is going to be done here with your articulators, with the resonators. That is your lips, your jaw, your teeth, your tongue, and your resonators. That's why it's called resonating cavity. So that's what singing's all about. It's actually very, very simple. It's breathing in, breathing out, forming your words when you breathe out, and having no barriers to stop the airflow. Now, to be able to sing jazz, we use the jazz voice differently than we do as a classical singer. Classical singer is going to only be resonating here in the head voice. Whereas we as jazz singers, we resonate in our chest voice, and going over into our head voice, we mix the two together so that it's called mixed voice. And we as women, in comparison with men, we have to change that all the time. We're going from chest voice to head voice, back to the mixed voice. We're changing our register all the time. And you need to be able to do that smoothly. Singing from the diaphragm, the large muscle for respiration is called the diaphragm. It is situated beneath the lungs. It pushes the lungs when you exhale and pulls it when you inhale. Singing from the diaphragm is the most important of all techniques to be able to control your voice. It enables you to protect the created sound of your vocal cords through the abdominal muscles. To jump, pick up the sound from the vocal cords and flows out of the mouth. Actually, the air, when you breathe in, it's got to flow out, picks up the note, goes through your resonators, and it goes out to the world and connects to the resonation of the air, of the room, wherever you are. And if that air is flowing, if it's flowing freely and with ease, you're going to get a lovely sound. If you are tight anywhere, if there's tension in your vocal cords, and there's all kinds of muscles in the vocal cords, right? There's about 75 different little muscles that all work together. I'm not going to tell you all the the Latin names of them all. But these muscles have to work together, and it's all dependent on how the air flows through the vocal cords. Now, if you're coming from the chest, they're definitely not going to flow properly, only if they're flowing from the diaphragm. So it's just a small little blick into the vocal cords, the vocal folds. And as you see, the physics of making the sound, when we are not speaking, the vocal cords are closed, like you can see here. This is closed. So as soon as you start speaking, they're open and are vibrating. Sound is only vibration, right? It's only a vibration. So what is important when we are using the vocal cords is to make sure that there is no tension. That is the biggest thing, and that is the biggest thing that holds singers up. 95% of the singers who come to me are pressing, and they're not even aware of it. They don't even know that they're doing it, right? But once you hear it, once you start listening more and hearing it, you will realize, oh yeah, that sound was kind of tight. And when you start creating sounds that are flowing freely, you get a completely different resonance in the voice, and you can hear it. You yourself can hear it. So it rises up the trachea and runs into the constriction at the larynx. Okay, this sounds a little bit very scientific, but I just described it to you in normal language. The vocal cords are housed, causing the vocal folds to vibrate or buzz. The buzzing quality into the speech is called voice or voicings. Projecting of the voice. Now, this is one of the most important parts of singing. And this is what a lot of people are not doing. To project your voice, you have to breathe into the diaphragm. To project, you send the sound out with your breathing reflex, that the diaphragm comes together and it jumps, and then the note, the tone jumps up through the vocal cords at the same time and flows out. And if you project your voice, you will notice that this jumping feeling, which is your breathing reflex, it is happening without you even doing anything. Because when you project your voice, your body knows you have to use your diaphragm. Like if you say hello, all of a sudden your diaphragm, the breathing reflex in your diaphragm, is going to jump. There's going to be a reflex there. And that is exactly what we need to get the sound out nice and free without it stopping anywhere and getting stressed and getting tense and getting strained. All the strained voice comes from not being able to project your voice. Now, this projection in the beginning, especially for those who have been singing in classical music, are going to think it sounds pretty god-awful to sing in their chest voice and to project their voice, because it's going to be loud in the beginning. Otherwise, you're not able to get it. You're going to go back to your head voice. And there's not a lot of projecting. Well, there is projecting in the classical sense of the word. If you listen to Anna Netrebko, she's got a great projection of the voice. But mostly, we are thinking of classical singing as resonating in the head. But obviously, a classical singer also has to use the diaphragm. That's where I learned it when I was studying classical singing, right? These methods, the technique is actually the same, the breathing technique. So we use the breathing reflex to catapult the sound from the diaphragm, picking up the sound from the vocal cords as it flows through the vocal cords and starts to vibrate, and breathing out through the mouth with our articulators utilizing all the key resonators found in the vocal cavity. So now we come to the third area of our vocal techniques, and that is the resonators. The articulation is being done, first of all, through our mouth. We are directing the sound through. If you ever take a look at a classical singer, or Whitney Houston, or any of these jazz singers, you're going to see that they've got their mouth open. They're singing with their mouth open, right? And they're not singing like this, because your jaw is stopping the air from flowing through. So you've got to open your mouth. And if you have some tension in your upper lip, then you're going to be able to direct your air to the front of your mouth so that it can flow out freely. Now, if we don't have that in the beginning, we have to sort of exaggerate that feeling. If you see me in a concert, you're not going to see me looking like a fish mouth, right? Because I have control over my voice now. I don't have to form it like this to get the feeling, because I know where it is. I know where the feeling of my voice is to direct the air forward. So to articulate, that's part of articulation, is the lips. Now we have the jaw, which always has to be really, really, really flexible. And then we have the tongue, which has to be also very relaxed. A lot of people have we call in German, angespannte Zungenwurzel. I don't even know how to say that in English. Angespannt.
Tense,
yeah.
Tongue root.
Tense tongue root, yeah. That's something similar to what I wanted to say. Thank you. Right? And if that tongue root at the back of your tongue is tense, you're not going to get a nice sound. It's all got to be relaxed, right? But we do have tension on the side of our mouth to control the air from our diaphragm. We're going to have those abdominal muscles. Those are going to be tense, but positively tense. And I love the way it's described in German. We have Anspannung, which means, just tensing. We have Verspannung, which means tensing also, but in a negative way. And these two differences in tensing in English, we don't have it. It's the same word, right? So we do have tension, positive tension, when we are singing. We have to have that tension. It's like yin and yang. Your body tension, for example, body posture. You've got to have a good body posture. And it will, as soon as you start breathing into the diaphragm, all of a sudden your body straightens up. You have the tenseness in your body, the positive tenseness, the angespannte tenseness in your body that you need to sing. Now, if you're sitting there like a slap a noodle, you're not going to have any kind of strength in your voice whatsoever. You have to have posture. You have to have a body, a feeling for your body. And this is really, really important when you are using your articulation, right? All of this is part of being able to use your vocal techniques. So I have two modules. One module is breathing in, which is breathing into the diaphragm, opening your mouth, open your jaw, tensing your upper lip, and breathing in. Automatically, you tense your body in a positive posture. Module 2 is just breathing out, letting the note flow freely and with ease. Now, the position of the vowels is really, really important. If you are able, because the vowels are our sound when we sing, and if we're not using the position of the vowels correctly, if it's going to be, if it's positioned too far back in our mouth, it's not going to resonate. And if we have it too much forward, it's probably going to go directly into the head voice. So you got to have the right vibration. You got to get into the right frequency of the sound of that vowel. That is the right position for ah. Now, if I go ah, you can hear it's going back and pressing on my vocal cords. Now, if I'm too much, well, it can't happen very often that you're too much forward. If you use the forward position in your chest voice, nothing bad can happen. But it certainly can bad happen if you allow if you're too wide in your mouth form, the sound is definitely going to go back and press on your vocal cords. And then that's where you get hoarseness, that's where you get cracking, that's where you get strained on your voice. And that's why it's so important to have a certain, like this is what we, the what do you call that? Monogram, that company with the big sound, and they used to put the music with their hand. You remember that? You guys don't remember that? There's a record company called Phonogram, right? So they used to have this phono that spreads the sound out, and it's a big round, like a thing that what people use to send their voice out when they're speaking, so it gets heard. But it has to do with that sound. It has to do with this form of the thing that they're using. So we have to do that with our mouth, right? Ah, ah, ah. I'm still in the chest voice, by the way. Ah, ah, chest voice. Ah. So do you hear the position of the chest voice is getting even more and more forward in our mouth. And in the end, you'll be able to use your chest voice in a soft, very nice sounding way, even in a higher chest voice, without really belting it, right? We don't want to belt it. Oh, we have somebody joining us, even though they're kind of late. Okay, better late than never, I guess. So that's what these three areas are: the formation of your mouth, formation of the vowels, placement of the tongue, placement of the jaw. This is really important. So the most important thing, first of all, is your breathing. You pick up the note without straining in any way the vocal cords, without anspannen, without tensing those muscles surrounding your vocal cords. And this happens a lot. And when these three things are not coordinated, then you're going to have trouble. It takes time to coordinate these three areas of singing. Now, of course, after using the vocal techniques, that is just the first part of becoming a good jazz singer, because after that, you have to be able to swing, you have to have rhythm to swing the tune. And you also have to, but if you don't have that nice jazzy sound in your voice, which will develop with time, I'm not saying you can get it from one day to the next. That's something you have to practice. This is a domino effect. When the vocal techniques are all in place, if I use the coordination of vocal techniques, everything else falls into place, right? Now, if I'm only breathing and I'm not using my articulators, the breathing is not going to help you either, because you have to send the air out. We have to send the air to the resonance. I mentioned this before, that if you take a Stimmgabel, a tuning fork, which is has the tuning of A440, and you just just click it like that, you're going to get a nice soft sound. But if you take that vibration of that sound and put it on wood, you're going to get a huge amplification of the sound. And that's what we want to do with our voice. If you are connected to the resonance of your voice, you're going to have a nice big sound in your voice, a nice, especially when we're singing jazz. Pop singers also use their chest voice, but they are using a lot more power when they sing than we do as jazz singers. So if you guys have any questions, please ask me. Anyone has any questions? Yeah, Michaela, make yourself free.
Okay. With this fish mouth, what I didn't understand was the upper lip. You say it has to be tense. Is it like going outside a little bit, or how do I understand?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what, just let me see if I can put myself down here first. I don't think I can because I'm sharing my screen, but I'll show you in just a minute. I don't know, can you see that?
Yeah.
So you're tensing your upper lip. This is the ring muscle here. There, you've got a muscle right here over your upper lip. Right? Did you ever see Trump, the way he speaks? He's really using his upper lip.
I have to look at this.
Yeah, you have to take a look at him because he uses it. I thought to myself, oh, he's got the perfect mouth form to sing. Hi, Sarah, how are you? Nice to see you. And yeah, this mouth form is really, really important so that you, in the beginning, now I'm saying later on, now if I'm singing something like, you see how I'm opening my mouth, right? And I do have the tension on the upper lip. It's just so natural now, I don't even think about it. And I'm holding it. You see that? I'm holding the upper lip. I'm not going away from it.
Okay.
My funny Valentine. Now, why do I keep my upper lip always in that position? Because I'm going to get a rounder sound when I change the vowels. Like if I take it away, I have to go back into that position. Bunny. I got to go back into that position. So I hold it instead, right? Valentine, sweet, comic Valentine. So if I have a certain tension here in the lip, it's going to keep my sound very, very round. And it's going to be very smooth sounding. But if I change the form here of my mouth too much, I do it when I sing, but I want to do it. I do it because I want a certain sound when I'm singing, right? Not all, you don't want to sound the same in all songs. Like, for example, when I sing the blues, I'm going to make it, I'm going to allow it to go back a little bit. Every day, it sounds dirtier. It sounds butter. It sounds, right? It's not every day. We don't want that sound. It's not going to sound groovy at all. Every day I get the blues. And then I'm pulling, of course. When I sing the blues, I have different techniques. I bend the notes, and there's other things that you do when you're singing the blues. And if I want to sing a ballad like I was just doing, I want to have a nice, juicy, gorgeous sound that sounds like cream and butter, right? That's what we want when we're singing a ballad. So we want to have a certain sound. We want to have this kind of a sound. So we don't want to go away from that. And that's why we use this upper lip thing. Ah, but it also helps you when you want to sing the higher chest voice, right? I've been gone. It's all head voice, all a chest voice, by the way. And of living is easy. Fish, and I can even go higher if I want to make it higher. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is, oh, I've got the words wrong. And my love is gone, and I'm hit for the sky. You hear? I'm still in the chest voice, but it's really, really, really at the front of my mouth. I'm not singing it like a blues. I'm not singing like every day. I'm allowed to let the voice go a little bit back because I want a certain sound. But if I'm going to do other songs like night and day, I don't want to change the sound. I don't want to have night and day, and I go too wide. I'm going to have it's going to sound like I am pressing, and it sounds like metal, the sound, right? So we want to keep a nice same sound when we are singing. Night and day, you are the one, only you beneath the moon. I'm all in the chest voice, by the way. And under the sun. But you notice that I'm not screaming or shouting or whatever. I'm using the chest voice like I would any other part of my voice. And the pot and the da-da, 'cause darling, I think that I love you so. It's night and day. So if I want to change registers and I have my chest voice in a higher level, then it's going to be much easier for me to change registers. And this takes a little practice, right? If I sing let me see. The autumn leaves. I'm going into my mixed voice there. I don't want to go into my chest voice there. It would sound like this. The autumn leaves. It's going to be too much pressure, right? The fallen leaves drift. And I want to have contrast in my voice. I want to have contrasting sounds in my voice. That means when I'm going from one register to the other register, it gives more contrast in your voice. So, any other questions?
Yes, I've got a stupid question. Yeah. So you were saying that the diaphragm and the abdominal muscles are there to project the air flow, maybe, but there is nothing like singing out of the diaphragm.
Yeah.
There's diaphragm voice.
Yeah. It's using your diaphragm to breathe. If you're breathing in, because a lot of people only breathe up until here. Mm-hmm. And that's why they have a lot of problems with their singing. Because you cannot project if you're only breathing to here. Mm-hmm. So you've got to breathe down into your diaphragm. And that takes, for some people who don't know how to do that, takes a little practice, right? Expanding your stomach area when you breathe in, because a lot of people allow their stomach area to go in, like as if they're doing yoga, right? But we as singers, we let our stomach expand.
Oh yeah. That's great.
Okay.
And-
Does that explain what I'm,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah, exactly. And so I could say there's only the chest voice and the head voice and the vocal cords and the mouth, which makes a sound. Could I say that?
Well, the sound is made from the vocal cords. When two vocal cords come together and the air is flowing through, the air flows through the vocal cords and they start to vibrate. That's how we create a sound. The next part of the journey is that air, the sound that has been created through that you have breathed into the diaphragm and is now flowing through your vocal cords, is to go to the third part of the vocal technique, which is your resonators. That's this whole area here, your
That's
articulation, right?
Very, very thoroughly. Very nice. Thank you. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're so welcome. Anybody has any questions, just put your hand up and I'll answer them. Yeah, we're just speaking about diction, because diction is so important. And when I hear a lot of singers that blah, 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 and you can't understand a word they're singing. And the thing is, we think, oh, jazz is so, so laid back and so on. But even still, you have to articulate, you have to make the words, you have to be able to form the words so that they can resonate. If you do not form the words, they cannot resonate. And without resonating, there's going to be no sound in your voice. It's as simple as that. The vowels are resonant structures that let a tone to be sustained. You can hold a note out. That's what the vowels are. They're what we say in German, this is unsere Klang. It's our sound, right? The consonants are used for something different. They end the words, and a lot of people are not ending their words properly with the right consonants, and they just leave the consonants away. Well, that's not good either, is it? You can also change your tongue position while you produce vowel sounds. These altering of the mouth cavity helps determine the way the resonance cavities reinforce the initial chord tone specific frequencies. This is all about the frequency, guys. This is all about the frequency that is created, a vibration that is created when you create a sound with your vocal cords. It's just a vibration of sound. It has to do with acoustics, right? Sound acoustic. During my studies, we had to go to the science department, another completely different building, just to learn about acoustics, because you know what happens to your voice when you are creating a vowel on your what happens with the vibration of the sound. It makes it so much easier to understand why I am doing this. Why do I want to have a certain sound in my mouth? Why do I want to have that diction clear? Why do I want to be able to articulate very clearly? Because it makes a difference in your sound, the acoustic of the sound. The sound goes where you send it to. It's like water, right? It goes where you send it to. The air goes where you send it to. And if you're just not, and you're not projecting it, and you're not articulating the sound, then you're not going to have any sound. It's really, really important to overdo it in the beginning with your articulation. Now, again, when we are on stage and we are wanting to interpret a song, if you haven't learned it like really, really thoroughly with the correct diction, then you're going to not be able to sing it as beautifully as if you have correct diction and correct articulation, because that is how we create an atmosphere when we're singing, right? If I'm not using my consonants and I'm not using my vowels, and it's just a conglomerate of sound, then you're not going to have much of a sound, a differentiated sound. Then you can't create from your dynamics either. Diphthongs. Now, this is a thing a lot of people don't realize that, for example, the word I is a diphthong. I, but we don't want to hear the E part of it. We just want to hear the I, and the E is done inside our mouth with the tongue. I, you don't want to sing. I, that doesn't sound nice, does it? I'm cutting off the sound. I want that nice, round, juicy, zanigan, beautiful, creamy sound. And if I allow the diphthong to use both of those vowels, it's not going to sound good. I, or let me see, what's another diphthong? It's a word with two vowels in it. Anyways, if you find a word with two vowels in it, then you want to use the first part of the vowel and do the second part of the vowel in your mouth. So this creates two vowels in a single syllable. This frequently occurs in the English language, yet seldom does it happen in other languages. You should also check the gliding vowels. Gliding vowels are two vowel sounds that occur in a syllable. Okay, I'm not going to go into that right now. Glottal stop. Now, this is really a super tip. The glottal stop allows you to get the note right in tune, in pitch, and it comes from your diaphragm. Like if I'm going, that's what we call a glottal stop. I use it all the time. It gives a little edge on the sound. You hear it? I'm trying to exaggerate it a little bit. I left my heart. Now, I didn't need it there. The glottal stops are usually used in a vowel. In. I can use it on in. In. Now, what happens when I use that glottal stop? Immediately, I make the diaphragm work. It starts the diaphragm, the breathing reflex. It activates the breathing reflex. So think about that when you're practicing of using this glottal stop, because it really gives your tone right away. You don't run into this sound. When we start singing a phrase, we don't want to usually slide the tone there. We want to slide the tone at another place in the song. Well, sometimes you do, like with Every Day I Get the Blues. Every day I get the blues, because I'm speaking it. We're pulling the word from the speaking pitch. Every day. So I'm pulling on those words, but that happens a lot in the blues. We're going to be taking a look at the blues pretty intensively in the 10-week course. So what else we got going on here? Results. Oh, I got that already, didn't I? Okay. Nobody can build their vocal journey on their own. Everybody needs a coach, or now you have to have some kind of feedback from somewhere. Either if you're able to go on here in Europe, we can study. We don't have to pay a lot of money to study. That's what I did. I immediately started to study jazz here in our city. We had a jazz department at our university. So I could immediately start to take, well, of course you have to be accepted. You have to audition and you have to be taken. Otherwise you can't go to the university, of course, right? That takes a little time. Well, it takes some doing to get if you audition to get accepted. But once you get accepted, it's pretty good because you get vocal lessons are included. I took piano lessons, which was included. I took drum lessons, which was included. And as a jazz singer, especially if you're coming from the classical area, you don't have a lot of rhythmical vocabulary, and it's really important either to get a drummer and get a couple of lessons from a drummer and do some offbeats with him and some, we call them Verschiebungen, 2 against 3, and all of these different kinds of rhythms. Da, 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 and the other one does da, 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 da. And working on these rhythms so that you become rhythmically independent when you want to start improvising or just being able to phrase a tune properly. So I think I've got a couple of these. I've got a couple of these things in the wrong place. Vocal techniques. You know, we went through that. So any other questions up until now with the vocal techniques? Now, guys, it does take some practice, right? It's not something that, you know, you can do start one day and the next day you're able to do it. Especially when you're raising your chest voice, the sound of your chest voice. I can remember when I first started out and I wanted to sing all of me. I couldn't start my chest voice up so high. It just wasn't impossible. But if you hear, I'm using the glottal stop there. All of me. So I have a nice clean start to the sound. And I had trouble, you know, singing a G in the chest voice above middle C. Now it's not really a problem for me anymore, but back then my voice didn't know what to do, right? And you do need to practice. The more you practice with the vocal technique, the vocal exercises that I have shown you, you should be doing that every day, at least 15, 20 minutes. Right? I know it's kind of boring to do vocal exercises, but it's really necessary. It really is. Just and then sit down at the piano and do some of your own. Make some up, right? So when in the 10-week course, I'm going to be doing some vocal techniques, vocal exercises just for jazz singers, especially all for improvising. Da ba do ba da ba do ba da, and then going up, da ba do ba da ba do ba da, and using different syllables. But it is necessary to practice these things. Now I know that Sarah is a singer and she's singing a lot. She's a professional singer. And Michaela is also a professional singer, but she hasn't been doing jazz, I think, much too long. Is that correct, Michaela?
I studied jazz at the conservatory. Now it's a university, but I didn't do something for very long after I finished because I had a burnout, and then I started again to study and I finished it, but after that I had to take some time off to heal.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can understand that. I can absolutely understand that because, you know, it's, did you get a burnout because of trying to learn how to sing jazz, or was it?
Yeah, also, I had too high expectations for myself, and then at some point my body said no, and I went on and on and on, and then I started to have panic attacks and stuff like this, and then I had to stop. Yeah.
You know, I can understand that really, really well, because when I am working on something like right now, I'm now launching my 10-week course, and I just finished, you know, preparing and teaching the 4-week course. And I thought to myself, no, I can't do that. That's too much, right? How am I going to do that? Oh, I got to start 10-week course now. And I started to realize that I am addicted to working, and it's time for me to take a little pause in between, right? Like today, it was beautiful weather outside. What did I do? I sat down and made sure that my presentation tonight was, you know, you want to make sure it's okay. and then I was sending out emails and, you know, doing all kinds of stuff for the promotion of the course. Do I hear a dog somewhere?
Yeah, it's mine. He's crazy. Sorry. Come here. Hop.
Yeah, well, it's really important. It's really important when you are learning jazz, because there's going to be, it's with any instrument. When I was studying jazz, okay, somebody else wants to come in. I don't even know who it is. When you're studying jazz, whether you're a saxophonist or a trumpet player or whatever, you know, you're practicing your head off, and you think, "Verdammt nochmal, I should be further because I'm practicing so much," right? And my friend who was a saxophonist, he threw his saxophone in the corner, and I thought, "Oh my God, I hope he didn't break it," because he was so frustrated, right? And sometimes we just have to do the exercises, do the songs, and don't think about, you know, how good am I, and comparing myself to others, and so on and so forth. Just have fun. I know it sounds easy to do, but it's something you really, really have to train yourself to do. Somebody talking in the background here somewhere. Okay, I think I'm going to have to mute this person. So muted. Yeah, so, you know, I understand that completely, Michaela. How about you, Sarah? Did you study music, or you just got yourself going on your own because of your father, or what?
Well, I studied piano.
Oh, okay.
But in that, I ended up, you know, when you show up at some, like my father's shows or something, they would say, "Oh, you're here, sing with us. What do you want to sing?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, didn't matter, because you can always step up and sing. You oftentimes there's already a piano player on board. So I trained myself to have something ready for those times. And,
yeah.
I did get, I eventually, when I started recording, I had those high expectations. I burned myself out too. So I've been there. I think it's kind of a good experience, because you start to know where your boundaries really are, where your limits are, right to the note.
Yeah.
Like I lost my A. You're talking about having trouble at first with G. I'd been singing for years, and then went to record, and I lost my A and B flat. I could sing B and C, but I lost that little mix. It was just air.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so you had some vocal dissonances there. Yeah.
So I did go to an opera singer, and then I got all of the warm-up exercises from her.
Yeah,
and
well,
that really, really helped.
Yeah, because, you know, we classical singers, and I'm so glad that I have a classical background, because I notice here in Germany, I don't know if Michaela can tell me that this is true. Most of the colleagues that are teaching jazz do not have a classical background, and they cannot really tell you exactly how the breathing works, and because they don't really concentrate on that. When I studied jazz at the university, we didn't even touch on how to use your voice. You know, we didn't touch on it. It was just how to groove, what kind of song you want to sing, and how does it to get the phrasing, and so on and so on. And I went to a couple of other ones like Norbert Gottschalk. They don't talk about vocal technique. It seems to be as if it's almost expected that you know how to use the vocal techniques, and a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. And so I really feel I'm very, very, what's the right word? Pleased that I have a classical background. In the beginning, I wasn't happy about it at all, because I thought, oh God, I sound like a classical singer. Geez, I don't want to sound like a classical singer, because I didn't know how to phrase yet, right? I was always switching the beat around and singing on the 1 and the 3, instead of, you know, having that feel for the groove with the emphasis on the 2 and the 4. And especially when you're coming from the classical background, that's something you have to get practicing on. And so I thought, oh, geez, I sound like a classical singer, and I really hated it. And then I started to realize, once I started developing my chest voice, how important it is to have a good, solid vocal technique basis. Because I wouldn't have been able to sing in China a whole year, 6 nights a week, if I did not have a really fundamental, good breathing technique and vocal technique. It wouldn't have been possible, because you're singing 4 nights a week. And I know a lot of singers who get hoarse, or their voice gets tired and they start cracking, and it's all dependent on your vocal techniques. And that's why it's really, really fundamental to get these techniques, to learn these techniques, and to practice these techniques, so that you have a solid basis when you are singing, that you're not going to, in the middle of a concert, you can't sing anymore because your throat's given way, or you got hoarse all of a sudden after singing a gig. That should not happen. That should not happen. So very important. And you know what? The thing is too, a lot of people, maybe like yourself, Sarah, you're singing, and I've listened to your program. You sing beautifully. It sounds really great, really great. But on the other hand, you're not. And I also have professional singers like what's her name? Gold. My God, I can't remember her first name. She's really, really, really famous. And she got in touch with me because she's having problems with her voice. She has she's not able to reach the higher notes anymore. And, she needs some feedback. Even we professionals need feedback. We need a coach. And now I have got myself a coach in Holland. And she's somebody I've been looking up to for years. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I want to improve my improvisation. I want to improvise like, oh God, what's her name in America? And she's been singing with Dizzy's all-star band. Not Gabriella. What's her name anyways? Anyway, she can really scat. And my favorite singer of all times, the Veronica Swift, she can, oh my God, she can scat like absolutely nobody's business. I mean, she's amazing, right? And I would like to be able to improve my improvisation. So I have to have a coach too. So if any more questions before we, I just wanted to go in and let you know that I am going to be offering this 10-week course starting in a couple of weeks. And if you would like to get support on getting these fundamental vocal techniques in place, so that you no longer have any more hoarseness, cracking, vocal fatigue, pain in the vocal cords, tension, I could go on and on. And if you want to sound like an authentic jazz singer, then you are in the right place. Because I have a program for you where you can get these techniques really down pat and really, really start to exercise them. And we're going to be doing, I'm so excited about this program because we're going to have breakout rooms this time where we're going to be practicing with each other and getting feedback from each other, as well as getting feedback from me. Yeah, I'm offering at the moment this 10-week program, swinging jazz vocal mastery program. So this is a few things that you will learn in the 10-week program. Confidence in your jazz vocal performance. This is something that so many singers have problems with. And even though they may have a beautiful voice, right? Because they're not confident, they're closing their throat. And through that, they're not able to get that nice sound in their voice when they're singing. Strength, clarity, and that jazz sound in your voice. How to sing in a jazz style. Confidence in your, what did I just do? Confidence in your jazz vocal performance. How to really groove and phrase a jazz tune, whether a swing, a ballad, a blues, or a bossa nova. We're going to be going into all of the different genres in this course. We're going to be singing a bossa nova, a blues, an up tempo. We're going to do a bebop tune confirmation. We're going to do a ballad. We're going to do all kinds of different genres so that you can get the feel of how do I sing a ballad? How do I sing a bossa nova? Like what's important about singing a bossa nova, right? What's important about the blues? The blues is really, really the basis of all the songs that we sing today. The blues is the basis, and we're going to be working on the blues patterns, improvisation. We're going to go a little bit into what our 2-5-1. We're only going to be working 1 week on that, on 2-5-1 progressions, how to improvise on a 2-5-1 progression. And you'll find out what is a major chord, a minor chord, a half diminished chord, and a diminished chord, so that you can just hear what it sounds like when a pianist is playing a tune, that you all of a sudden you're going to be able to hear it. But of course, ear training is important so that you can start recognizing what kind of a chord it is. And we'll be doing a little bit of ear training too. How to improvise and scat with proven techniques, how to prepare yourself for a performance. This is also pretty important. How to use vibrato. This is really something a lot of people ask me, how do you sing vibrato when you're singing jazz? Because we don't use a great deal of vibrato when we're singing jazz. It's a very descent, very, how do you say descent? Do you say that in English? Sarah, descent, do you understand that word? No, she doesn't understand that word. We use vibrato in a very, not a very strong vibrato. We use pretty straight notes when we're singing jazz, right?
Yeah, and so maybe you're saying you use it as an effect, but not as a technique.
Oh, it's a technique. Absolutely, it's a technique, but it's something that we don't use a lot of. Like in classical music, you're using the vibrato all the time, right?
Yeah.
But in jazz, we are using long notes. All of me, and then I give a little bit of vibrato at the end, right? So we use the vibrato differently than in other genres. For example, in classical music. I think in just about blues, jazz, pop, and blues, I think the vibrato. I'm not quite sure about the pop music, but I think their vibrato is also kind of. I don't know what you call descent in English. I have to look that word up.
Subtle, maybe?
Subtle, yeah, subtle. Thank you. Yeah, it's very subtle. The vibrato is very subtle. Like you don't hear it at the end, right? Now, Sarah Vaughan, she sang with a lot of vibrato, right? She sang with a lot of vibrato and almost a little classical in her voice. And of course, we all love Sarah Vaughan. But nowadays, you don't usually sing with so much vibrato. So rhythm, we're going to go into how to use the snipping on 2 and 4 and use the beat and syncopation. That's this 2 against 4, what we call Verschiebung in German. It's syncopation. Offbeats, triplet feeling, swing rhythm, bossa rhythm, 2 bars or 8 bars or 12 bar phrases. You start to develop a feeling for this. And it's really, really important because it's part of the form. When you sing jazz, you have to know the form. It's really important. And even if you're not improvising, you have to know the form of the song. It makes life so much easier because if the pianist or the musician start improvising and you don't know where the heck you are, right? So you really have to know the form. How to start a tune and end it. This is something a lot of people ask me. A lot of singers ask me, well, how do I know what kind of an intro do I tell the musicians? Or what do I tell them as an extra? How do we end the tune? We're going to go into that. Phrasing. Phrasing is so important. It has a lot to do with your rhythmical feeling. In the beginning, my phrasing was absolutely catastrophic because I didn't have enough feeling for the rhythm, right? improvisation, 2-5-1 progressions. We're going to have practice tracks on 2-5-1 progressions, and I'm going to be recording extra exercises just to learn how to improvise, all kinds of different exercises for going from the tonic to the third, from the tonic to the fourth, to the tonic to the fifth, and different intervals. So it's going to really be helpful. Keys, which key should I sing? This is a big question. A lot of singers don't know what their keys, and they just try things out and they think, oh, I don't know, does that sound good or does it not sound good, or should I use another key, or should I be singing it higher? You know, it's a really important question about what key should I sing. Charts, how to write a chart, how to get charts ready. Sing your story, how to tell a story when you're singing a song. It's all about telling the story, right? If you can tell a story when you are singing, you're going to be able to touch the hearts of your listeners. If you're just going to sing the song down, you're not going to be able to touch anybody's hearts, because you're not telling them a story. It's like being on stage and saying, once upon a time, there was a little boy and his name was Jeffrey. Pause. We got to use pauses when we are singing. Pauses are so important. And that's part of phrasing. Theory, we're going to learn the different chords and a little bit of ear training. So as you can see, this is going to be an amazing course. Do you want to be ready when you get up on stage to be able to sing all kinds of different genres? Get your program up and sing a program that is that you know off by heart, that you're going to learn off by heart. You've got your keys, you've got your charts, you've got your time, you know how you want to sing the song, you've got your arrangements, how do you want to do the song? And you have to learn how to tell your musicians what you want, right? You just can't get up on stage and count it in, and they're going to say, well, what do you want to do with this, lady? Do you want to have, is this going to be a swing tune, or what was it going to be? Or do you want to have a halftime feel on it? Or what do you want? So we have to learn this jargon of jazz musicians to be able to explain to the musicians what we want. And we have to learn how to give signs to the musicians, right? So these are all things that we're going to be, taking a look at and dealing with. And I'll be showing you a lot how to do these things that are really important for when you get up on stage. Now's the time, guys. You know that tune from Charlie Parker, now's the time. Don't wait any longer. Don't put it off and say, okay, maybe next year I'll do that. Oh, maybe, when I get a little bit more money, I'll think about that. If you really, really want to improve yourself as a jazz singer, you're gonna find a way. You're gonna find a way to take part on this 10-week course or any other course. I'm not saying you have to take part in my course, but you're going to take the responsibility for yourself to get the help that you need. And I see a lot of singers say, well, maybe they've been putting it off for so many years, right? Like I've got singers who come to me, they've been putting it off for years, and then it was the kids, and then they were building a house, and then they had this, and then there was that, and all of a sudden there's no money there for dear Judy. There's no money for me because I don't count. My kids count, everything else counts except for me. And that's where we're going to start, with taking yourself seriously, your needs to develop yourself as a jazz singer, because you can earn money with it. And I am serious about that. I'm not saying you're going to become rich and famous, because none of us jazz singers are rich and famous. But once you start performing in jazz festivals, when I perform at jazz festivals, or last year I had 2 concerts at the State Theater. They pay. And if you start today and start working on your fundamental vocal techniques, And then you start working on your phrasing and so on and so forth. I guarantee you, after 10 weeks, you're going to be in a different place. And you're going to be able to get up on stage much more confident than you do today. Become the hero in your life and make your dream come true. And if you say, well, I have to talk to my husband about it. Well, maybe your husband thinks you're crazy if you want to learn how to sing jazz. You probably say, oh, come on, get serious. You're already whatever, 38 years old. We can learn jazz. That's ridiculous. Don't listen to anybody in your family, by the way, because usually they're going to put you off of your dream. You have to find out what you want and go after it and find a way to invest in yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. And make your dream come true of becoming an amazing jazz singer. That's what, if you really, really want to do that. Like I was so obsessed with wanting to sing jazz. And I wasn't even thinking about becoming professional back then, you know? Like when I heard the first chords of Kanama, all I did was, oh my God, I'm in love with this music. This is, oh my God, this is what I want to do. So you're not thinking at that point, oh, I think I'm going to earn my life with it now. You just start and you just have fun, and you get addicted to practicing and learning, and it's just so much fun. And then you start to see how much progress you're making, and all of a sudden, like Michaela, within the 4-week course, she already got an opportunity to sing in a band. And that is absolutely amazing. Now she's gigging all over the place, Michaela, right? It's pretty cool, pretty cool. But even there, you want to also work on your vocal technique so that you are really going to wipe those guys out, and they're going to say, oh my God, Michaela, you are just amazing. And what are you doing? Your voice is improving. Oh my God, you're sounding so much different, right? You'd like to have that, right, Michaela? Well, it's time to start doing it. It's not gonna come if you wait another 6 months. You say, well, by that time, maybe I'll have earned some money to pay for it. No, the thing is, once you start to go for it, guys, even if you think you don't have the money, you're going to take it really, really seriously. If you have to find out a way to get that money. I had a student who wanted to take part in my vocal course in Mallorca. She was a gardener, and she didn't have any money, guys. And she wanted to take part in that course so badly. And then she started mowing lawns, and she started just thinking about ways that she could get some money together to take part in the course. And she did. And it was one of the most important accomplishments for her in her whole life, because it's a great accomplishment to go after your dreams and really, make sure that you're getting what you want, like finding the funds to invest in yourself. You know how you feel if you finally say, so I'm going to do this. I don't care how, I don't care. I've got to do this. And all of a sudden, this is the most funny part of everything. She got this girl, because she had decided, when she didn't have the money at the time, she decided, I'm going to do this. And all of a sudden, money started coming in. She was also, doing things, cutting the lawns and selling her guitar. And she was so, how would you say? She really, really wanted to do this. And all of a sudden, other doors were opening where money was coming in. And this does happen. So if any of you are interested in taking part in this 10-week course, there's already 4 people signed up. It's going to start on September the 13th. That is not this coming week, the week after, like next month, Monday in a week. And we're going to be doing a whole training every Monday morning, a training on the topic of the week. And we'll be doing on Thursdays, we'll be doing a Q&A session where you can ask all your questions. You can get up and sing and show me what you're doing. And you're going to have breakout rooms with each other so you can help each other and get feedback from each other. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm so excited as all get out, even though I think, geez, how am I going to do this? I think I need a holiday first, right? But this is it. When you're so excited about something, your energy does come from somewhere. So the investment for this course is 1997 euros. And we got an unbelievable stack of bonuses in this course, which you don't have, of course, when you do one-to-one singing. So you're going to get a lot of hours in this course, about 30 hours of training. A live mastermind with me in Duisburg. We're planning that right now for October. And then you're going to have a live teaching with me a whole day, maybe even the weekend. I might throw in the Sunday even too. 2 VIP one-on-one vocal coaching with me. My vocal digital CD with 22 vocal exercises, my album Con Alma, that's my work of art that I created and recorded in New York with all of the jazz greats of the world. Access to the 4-week course, Sing Jazz Like a Pro, which is going to close very soon. And you'll be able to get that course and all of the exercises and the PDFs and the workbooks and so on. You'll have access to that. And also you're going to get 30% off the summer vocal workshop in Mallorca, which is going to be amazing. I already have people signed up for it. I've done this 8 times and it's always amazing. We rent a villa overlooking the ocean, and I have a cook and she cooks an amazing meal for us every night. And we have 4 hours of vocal coaching every day. So that's 20 hours of vocal coaching. And Sunday you have free, and we do a big concert, a big final concert on Friday in a hotel in this town that we're going to be having the workshop in. So you're going to have lifetime access to everything in the course. And I think that's pretty amazing, because a lot of coaches, they don't give you lifetime access. So, but if you sign up for the course today, you're going to get it for $17.97. You save 200 euros. And we also have payment options, plus all kinds of those bonuses not even mentioned. So here is the sales page. I'm going to copy it, and you can copy it for yourself. And I will put it in the chat. So I'm going to stop my share and put this in the chat. And you guys can check it out. Just copy that and check it out and let me know if you're going to be, if you're interested. Anyone here interested in perhaps taking part on it? Is this something that would be interesting for you, Sarah?
I'm going to look it over. What time on the Mondays is it going to be?
Well, don't worry about that, because it's not always going to be live. It's going to be pre-recorded most of the time, because I noticed a lot of my American friends are sleeping when we usually do it here in Europe. So
Right.
I'm going to pre-record the Monday session. And you, of course, you can have make all kinds of comments that you want for the training. That's no problem. And so you can look at that anytime you want. But for the ones in Germany or in Europe, we're going to do it at 11 o'clock with Zoom. If you can come in and take part on it live, you're most welcome to do that. And if not, it's just going to be either pre-recorded or as a replay. So you don't have to be there on the Monday morning. So, and on the Thursday, we're going to do that at 8 o'clock in the evening. So everyone has had their dinner here in Europe anyways. And the rest of you guys in America, it's 2 o'clock. So Is it interesting for anybody of you guys here? Are you guys looking to get to the next level with your jazz singing, or what? I mean, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask me if you have any questions about the course. But you haven't really looked at the sales page, so you want to take a look at that. If you have any questions, now is the time. And if not, we'll close this this webinar for today. Okay, thank you very, very much for being here, my loves. And think about it. If you sign up within 24 hours, you're going to get 200 euros off. And of course, the people in our course, like Michaela, she's in the course, our 4-week course, they get 300 euros off. So are you in the course, Sarah? No. Are you in the course, Julia? I
Not
think
this
you
time.
are.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Julia, you get 300 euros off. There you go.
That's great. I just got another last question, only for myself.
No, it is.
Just I'm not so serious about it like others are. I know that they are really serious about it, and I don't know if I'm serious about it. So
I understand. Okay.
yeah, super. And I mean, you know, I like jazz singing. I like jazz singers. I like the vibrato. I like everything, but I'm not sure if I can.
Ciao, Sarah. Ciao.
If I am, yeah, I am not sure.
Well, it's okay. That's fine, Julia. And even if you don't want to become a professional jazz singer, if this is something that you've really wanted, maybe you've wanted to be able to sing jazz for a long time and you've never taken the opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, exactly. I love voice. I like singing, but you know, jazz singing is a new thing for me. So, like,
yeah. Well, I can only tell you, you're gonna learn loads in this 10-week course, and then you can if you're still excited about jazz, you're gonna have a program ready, and you can start and see if you want to perform with it. Start, you know, in smaller venues, cafes or whatever, and see if you want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
you don't have to do that. It could be something for your own personal joy, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would take it for. That's the right wording, yes. Because I think I like to see it more as joy and fun, not to push me through all this, what I heard from others. So, you know, I don't want to get there where I get a burnout or something.
No. Well, you did you talk to Gabi? Gabi, what's her last name? Kras. Gabi Kras. Now she's just a hobby singer, and it's just she signed up for a half a year of vocal lessons with me because she just loved singing. She just loved singing, and she just wanted to improve her voice and have fun, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And so you never know where it'll take you. Now she's had an opportunity to sing with her band, and it's because her voice is getting better, and she has more vocal techniques. She's having more fun. The people are saying, "Wow, what'd you do with your voice? It sounds great." You know, she's just having a heck of a lot of fun. And what comes out of it, nobody knows.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You don't have to become a professional to do this course. You can just do it for your own personal joy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was my aim at all when I signed up for your 4-week course.
Yeah, so you had a good time, right?
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, there you go. And imagine having a great time 10 weeks long.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Kim. Is Kim still there? Thank you so much, Kim. I don't know who you are, Kim. Can you tell me who you are? Because I have no clue who you are. And Lucia, I don't know who Lucia is either. Do you want to show yourselves, or do I just have to wonder who you are? Okay, I don't see. Oh, wait, let me see. Let me look at the chat here. Oh, Lucia is showing herself. Hi. Can you unmute yourself, Lucia? On the
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
And have you weren't in the 4-week course, right? You weren't in the 4-week course.
No, I'm not in a course, but I was listening just a little bit from this session because I have to fall asleep my little daughter and so on. So I missed quite everything, I think so.
Oh, it's okay. There's going to be a replay. Nice to have you here, Lucia. If you have any questions, now's the time. Otherwise,
Is it possible to find somewhere you recorded this session?
yeah. Yeah, I will be putting this in my profile tomorrow.
Okay.
There will be a copy of this
Okay.
of this webinar. Okay.
Fine. So I hope to see it.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Kim, whoever you are. And let me see. I saw you online. Who's this? Oh, Kim, thank you so much for the information, Judy. I'm going to think about it. Great. I saw you online. I live in London. I've done a little bit of jazz, not professional, but would like to improve my voice. Sounds wonderful. If you have any questions, Kim, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Send me a messenger, or we can get on a call if you like, just to find out if this is something for you. And if you have any questions, let's just get together on a chat. Okay. Just send me a message. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here today. And I'm going to say goodbye.